All right, what is going on, everyone? We are back. Welcome to the Unconventional Mindset. My name is Odu, and what we do here is we get together every Monday through Friday, and we live stream our process of trying to build ourselves a company which is going to generate us $1 million in revenue every single year. And of course, we're building Pixel Media, and we build websites and applications for our clients. And last year we made 100K, and this year we're hoping to get to 250K. We also have our agency where we build websites, and we also have just launched Pixel Pieces, which is our WEBFLOW template and component library, where we sell templates and components for people to be able to use to build websites much faster. Okay, so today I figured what we talked about last week is we kind of decided on what we were going to do in order to improve this live stream. And we thought that we would have kind of like a live stream podcast kind of thing, or like brown bag seminars or lunch and learns kind of thing, where we'll bring on guests to the show, and then those guests are going to be able to, just talk to you guys, and you guys are going to be able to interact with the guests. So we decided we're going to do all that, so which is really, really great. Rolando is here. Hang on a second. Let me see if I got my comments here all worked out today. Shoot, that's not displaying on screen. Don't know why. Shoot. Anyways, Rolando, howdy. I thought you were Kevin there for a second. Welcome. How was your weekend? Hope you had a fantastic weekend. And I don't know, just ready to start the week here on Monday. So last week we started to do that. So this weekend I was working away all the technical stuff, and then the equipment. That's all going to get worked on in the background. So that's pretty easy stuff. We just talked about, making sure we have the green room and everything kind of all set up to have guests. So that's all working. And I thought what we need to do today is kind of plan out how we're going to actually organize getting guests. So it's not going to be just me. I talked with my wife, Andrea, and she's going to be helping me out in terms of the reach outs and the outreach that we need to do in order to just even try to get guests onto the show. I'm sure if we ever get to the point where we're really big and what have you, people are going to be asking us if they want to come onto our show. But for now, the way it's going to be, we're just going to have to be putting stuff out there to other entrepreneurs and people that we think would be interesting to talk to and to bring onto the show. So anyways, I figured we kind of get to that. So I just started this right now. It's just an Airtable, and it is really red. Let me see. Can I zoom this in a little bit? Yeah, so there's just an Airtable where, okay, we don't need this getting started here. We can close that. Where I figured we can kind of start the process. One thing, I wonder if maybe we'll do this afterwards. I thought too in this document, thinking about like who do we want to have on our stream, right? Who do we want on our stream? And I think it's pretty straightforward that at the beginning, we're going to focus on people that are entrepreneurs and that have some type of information that would be relevant to people that are in the initial stages of running a business. And I would say, obviously, I think like the first stage of a business is like, maybe it could be like 0 to 1 million if you want to think about it in a larger scales, like 0 to 1 million and 1 million to 10 million, and then like 10 million to like 100 million. Maybe those are like stages of like how to be, different stages of, company's growth. And a small company, I think anyone making less than $1 million is like kind of a small, kind of just starting out company. Although you could argue that, hey, if I was making $100,000 a year, that's a pretty decent size too. So you could argue that. But anyways, so people that are on that stage, that's going to be the target audience. Because I mean, if you're watching this, you might be interested in learning how to make a company that's, going to make $1 million a year, right? So those are kind of the audience. So I don't think we need to think too much about the type of content, just relating to business owners, right? So whether it's how to do some marketing, how to do advertising, how to do outreach, accounting stuff, legal stuff, obviously you're building your websites, all that kind of stuff. So there could be lots of different topics, but that's kind of the general idea behind the types of people we're going to go after. Okay, so it's going to be myself and Andrea kind of curating a list of people that we find interesting, that we think will be good for you guys to see. And well, by the way, if you have anything like Rolando, I see that you're here, but if you have any ideas or any people that you would love to have on the show to talk to, and it doesn't matter who they are, like I will try to get them on the show because, what's the worst that people can say? They could say no. or I guess they could just not respond as well too. But anyways, the worst they can say is no. So there's no harm in asking. So anyways, let me know at any time. Okay. So I think, what do we need to have here? So yeah, we need to collect their full name. So that's a given. So I think, what should we have? I think we should have maybe their YouTube channel, if they have a YouTube channel. And that could be a URL. And probably have their Twitter bio. Because that way, if somebody, like if, for example, if Andrea puts somebody on there, say, hey, this person's really active on Twitter, then I could have that Twitter bio and I could click on them, and then I could go and maybe message them straight through Twitter as opposed to trying to go like, the email route. Okay, so that's also going to be a URL. So create that field. And we can have like a website, which makes a lot of sense. Also a URL. And do we need phone number? I don't think we need phone number. So Rolando, I would love to see an interview with a UX UI designer and someone from Salesforce. Well, that sounds pretty cool. Oh, that actually reminds me. That's a really good point. Well, I mean, this is just kind of what I'm thinking from that is, how do you find someone specifically from Salesforce? And it's using LinkedIn. So I think LinkedIn is going to be actually pretty good here. So we'll go LinkedIn and we'll put a URL, because I don't personally know anybody from Salesforce, but that'd be pretty cool. So Rolando, question for you to follow up on that. What specifically about Salesforce would you want to learn? And like from the person from Salesforce. Well, okay, let me start over. What is it that you would love to learn from somebody that works at Salesforce? Like managing contacts, or just how to work a CRM, or something completely different. So potential guests. So I'll just put that here. And we're going to put bullet points. We're going to put someone from Salesforce. Because I mean, there's probably a whole bunch of different types of people that work on Salesforce. So if we could narrow that down into what you're thinking of, that would be helpful. So UX, UI designers. Okay, cool. So we'll just write that down. Anything that comes in to play, we'll write down. In fact, we might even put like another table for, or maybe, you know what? Maybe we'll have it on, what's it called? Discord, where people can put in requests for guests. But then again, Discord is a little bit different. Discord is for Pixel. It's not for like this community in this live stream. So anyways, I don't have to worry about that too much. That's kind of into the weeds. Okay. So let's just get rid of these ones for now. Like a signee. I don't need anything like that just yet. Status. We might want something for status. Okay. So YouTube channel, bio, website, LinkedIn. Okay. So we'd want to know, let's say like initial reach out. I guess could just be a checkbox. Yeah. Initial reach out. I mean, it could just be like yes or no. I guess it could be green. Upgrade to add more colors. No. Okay, so we could have something like that. And then we could have, and I'm not sure if this is all going to make sense, but I'm just putting in what makes, what makes the most sense right now. And we could pare this down if need be, depending on we'll have to see how Andrew and I actually start using this thing. reach out method, and we're going to have that be a single select and the option. Can you have formulas for this one? Like have the options being some columns? I don't know. Anyways, so we could maybe reach out to them through YouTube or Twitter, LinkedIn, and email. Yeah, and I'll put in another one here, just like in person, if I just happen to run into somebody or talk to somebody at an event or something like that. Right. So, okay, Rolando, a couple more things. Photographers, SEO specialists, and general, all those involved in web design and development. Regarding Salesforce, I would love to learn about the system and its potential in Hispanic America. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, so let's put some of this stuff on here. Photographers, SEO stuff. I know who we could even talk to for SEO stuff. Whether they want to come on the show or not is another question, but hey. And yeah, I mean, that's a given, like web design, development. And we'll just say, in general, because that's kind of at least our bread and butter right now. So Salesforce. So what do we got here? System. So I would like to learn more about the system, as in like the whole Salesforce, and then how that system has potential in Hispanic America, and its potential in or Hispanic America. Sorry, I might have said Latin America there. Latin America. Okay. Okay, cool. Awesome. Yeah, keep them coming. Appreciate that. This is fantastic. So it gives me great avenues already of who to try to target. Okay, so reach out method, and I'll just say maybe the user. Okay, cancel. Oh, no. So what is it for a user? Notify users. Add an Airtable user to a record. Okay, so it's not so much of a user I want. I want a like who reached out. So reach out like person. And that'll be single select. So it'll be me or Andrea, basically. Maybe we can change that color. She'd like pink. All right. So that's cool. And I think it would be kind of cool. Again, how is this useful? I don't know. But if we talk about like field of expertise, did I spell that correctly? I think so. And so we can kind of get an idea of the types of people that are going to be coming onto the show. Right. And I wonder if we should have like a multi-select for this one. Whether they're like an accountant, a lawyer, like legal, stuff like that, right? Do we have it as multi-select? Yeah, sure. Let's web design or development. We'll kind of put that in one, say social media. Yeah, and then maybe like marketing, advertising. There could be so many. Accounting and finance. Photography. And I'll put that videography in the same bucket. We'll just say just entrepreneurship in general. Rolando, I'm only doing an externalization. I would also love to hear a psychologist talk about and deal with the anxiety of being an entrepreneur. That's an interesting. So I guess even looking at it from the mental aspect and what kind of toll it can take on a person. And I imagine there's so many different factors that can go into that. Are you providing for yourself? Do you have a family as well? What does that put on the relationship? Does it put any strain on the relationship? Yeah, between husband and wife or what have you? Yeah, that would be interesting. It'd be very interesting. And yeah, an interior designer to talk about workspaces, like such great ideas. That is really, really cool. And like how to, I could even use that, like how to properly set up your space, for success. That's really, really great. So, all right, let's put some stuff in. I never spell psychology correctly. Psychology. Right. Psychology of entrepreneurship, I guess. And you can just say even business in general. Yeah, that's a great interior design. And I guess we could even, as an extension to that, like you could almost, we could talk about this about productivity, having like a Matt Davella kind of guy on the show. That'd be pretty cool. Oops. So I think the whole thing, I think interior design and how that can lead to like productivity. Yeah. Awesome. So another comment here from Rolando. Someone who talks about the myths of being an entrepreneur and the personal cost that comes with being one. Yeah. So as in maybe cuts through the BS of how entrepreneurship might be glorified and talk about, from all the people you hear about that, they've made their hundreds of millions of dollars as an entrepreneur and, they're super successful. But what about the ones that fail, right? What about all the other ones that, what is this statistic, right? 90% of all entrepreneurs fail within the first year or two or whatever the case may be. That's a huge thing. And that's something definitely that people need to consider, and why people fall into that 90%. What are the main reasons why people fall into that? And so what are those things that you really need to consider before kind of diving in, right? So really great. Oh, fantastic stuff. So so that's the entrepreneur actually, I know some really good people that we could talk about this, because I've been in contact with people that run, they network with entrepreneurs across the entire globe. So, and they collect data for all of those people. So I could probably get in touch with some really, really interesting people to talk about that. This is going to be exciting. This is awesome. I didn't spell that one correctly. So how can we, entrepreneur, I don't even know what to put, but like a scientist who studies the topic. I don't know how else to kind of say it here. They can talk about just like what you're saying. Talk about the personal costs, the real successes, failures, and reasons for them. Stuff like that. I love it. That's going to be really good. Really, really cool. So are you throwing off topics that hopefully that you would really find interesting? I think you are. Cause you're saying that too. Another topics I find personally interesting. Oh, this is another comment coming in. But yeah, hopefully these are the ones that you find super, super interesting. Cause the ones that you're saying that you really find interesting, I'll put those at the top of the list of trying to get people, trying to get those types of people. So yeah, another comment here. Another topic that I personally find interesting from a socio-political perspective is the role of tech education in the economic development of third world countries and as an escape from poverty. I think I can get in touch with people that can speak to that. That's really cool. That's really fantastic. And from even the other podcasts and stuff that I've listened to, when people are talking about that, especially when people are talking about specific countries within Africa or just even the whole continent of Africa, about how they're trying to push entrepreneurship in in poor third world countries or developing countries, so that the people can have the power to be able to get themselves out of poverty, right? So, and as far as I know, again, this is just kind of me talking about this topic, but entrepreneurship, I feel, is probably the best way that people can climb themselves out of poverty. Because at the end of the day, the way that economics works is you have to be productive. You have to have some kind of productivity to make people do things and create things and create value for other people. And it's that value creation that kind of turns the world around. Anyways, let's not get into, I'm sure we will get into politics stuff, because there's definitely certain political systems that favor people being business owners and entrepreneurships and, developing things versus other political systems that don't support that kind of stuff. And those countries tend to not end up doing very well for the people on a whole. Anyways, so I like that. Let's put that down. I think that's really good. Let's call it socio political. What did you say? Role of technology and entrepreneurship. Actually, I like that too. We have education in there. In developing. To help people, whatever, escape poverty. And what's its role in helping people escape poverty? Rolando, another comment here. One topic that I think would drive the channel is the role of AI in photography and its impact on the development of web applications and communication of ideas. That's an interesting topic, because there's a wide range of opinions on what AI is going to do to not even photography, but just in content creation as a whole, because you can use AI to do much more than just take photos, right? You can have it write scripts, you can have it voiceover, you can even make AI, you could train AI to understand your voice and make you say things if you just feed it, the text, and it'll say things in your voice, which is insane. And then, of course, you can have the AI write your script. You can have the AI tell you your script. You can have the AI generate photorealistic background videos even of things that you want to have. And you might not even have to do anything. You could have AI basically do everything for you, which is crazy. So, yeah. So AI and its role in content creation. And what it means for people in the creative space. I think I'm just going maybe a little bit more broad in terms of what you said, in terms of the impacts on development of web applications. But I think that's kind of a topic where we can have multiple different people talk about AI specifically in different areas, right? Like, hey, here's a guy who knows lots about, here's a photographer and what's their thoughts on AI, or here's a web developer and here's their thoughts on AI, or here's a copywriter and here's their thoughts on AI, or here's a SEO guy. What do they think about AI? So it's fascinating. And what it means for people in the creative space. Yeah, fascinating. These are even great ideas that I didn't even think about when I was first just thinking about this morning. So this is awesome. This is going to be good. And I think too, we can do something where we can, like I'll try to use as many contexts as I have, at universities and stuff to see if I can get people that are professional in specific areas, that have their PhD and doctorates and study this kind of stuff, even in like computer programming and like human computing interfaces and stuff like that, and getting those types of people on the show. I think that would be really, really cool. And then we get, I don't want to take it too technical and start reading like scientific papers and whatnot, but I think it's gonna be really, really cool. Yeah, this is gonna be awesome. This is awesome. Okay, so right, field of expertise. I think I'm thinking now that there's so many different fields of expertise. It's hard to say. Like it's hard. I'm having a hard time thinking if we should try to categorize people in specific fields right now. I mean, I guess we can. Let's entrepreneurship. Let's try. I guess we can even just do like psychology as a topic. If I can. It's a word I can't spell. Psychology. Social media. Artificial intelligence. I can't spell that right. Is it double L? I think so. And you know what? I'll try to combine these things here. Try to not make too many things. Marketing and communication. And I think we can even go social media and advertising. I know they're not the same thing, but we're getting close. And maybe we can just do like research. And research if you're just on like professional, like an academic, right? And academia. Right. There's lots of networks too that I know of, people that are, there's going to be so many places I think of people that are on, that are trying to develop new technology and new things. And I think they'd love an opportunity, even if it's a small platform, to be able to get on a platform, to be able to kind of tell their story. And there's so many people that I've been involved with just even through the university now that are, that's what they do. They do research and they try to get funding and they spin off their own companies and all that kind of stuff. So there's no shortage of people to talk to. So this is going to be good. And they don't, I just have to think in my head too, like, hey, listen, you're not going to be Joe Rogan at the start here, getting the top people every single day to come on this stream, right? But if we could be very mindful, be very deliberate, and also for me in terms of my skill, learning how to be a good interviewer, being able to ask the good questions and to have good conversations, and to figure out how we can do things a little bit differently too, so that we can, like, all of us have better engagement, right? Through myself and then the person that's coming on the stream, but also the audience, because I don't know. I haven't done much research and try to figure out who has done this before, but I haven't seen many podcasts which have a live kind of interaction where people are having a conversation, but people can kind of jump in and interject and kind of ask questions. Again, that's more of like a conference or some kind of like panel type discussion, right? So I don't know. It's gonna be really interesting. It's gonna be very interesting, and maybe there's legal as well. I'm gonna throw things down, and if it makes sense to, we'll see what makes sense here. Okay. Rolando, another topic: the legal responsibility of content creators and the recommendations they make of products and services. Yeah, and you could even talk about the legal. I don't even know what this is called, but if you're legally obligated to disclose whether you've got paid for something or not, and if you have, vested interest in whatever product that you're promoting, especially once you get bigger, and I think there's certain things that you have to have, whether it's on YouTube or whatever, you have to disclose that this is like a paid, hey, if I'm just like, hey, look at my Sony cameras and this is blah, 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 all this kind of stuff. But if Sony's paying me to like promote their products and I think you have to disclose that, but yeah. Okay. Yeah, we'll get to this immigration content here in a second, or comment in a second. Legal responsibilities of just content creation, and then you could say, how to work with companies. As sponsors of products and services. Yeah, very, very good. So another topic for an immigration lawyer: how to legally immigrate to Canada as a content creator. There's got to be, Canada is basically, you can just walk into Canada, and that our borders are pretty. From what I'm hearing, it's pretty easy to get into Canada these days. But that being said, I think if you have high skills, I think it's very difficult to actually get into Canada, which is kind of, anyways, that's a topic for another day. But yeah. I think even Canada I think the best bet would be like the digital nomad visa. I'm pretty sure Canada rolled one out. And when Canada rolled one out, I'm like, who wants to come to Canada as like a digital nomad, in the sense that it's winter like 8 months out of the year? It's not really the typical digital nomad style where you're going to, sit on the beach every day with the laptop, the stereotypical thing. Let me look at Canada digital nomad visa. Want to immigrate to Canada permanently. High skilled workers. Digital nomad. Processing time 0 to 2 months. Digital nomads don't need a work visa to work remotely from Canada. You can visit for up to 6 months at a time. Yeah, I think that's the same thing for me. Like if I wanted to go to Mexico, like I can just go in for 6 months and I don't have to have a visa. But if you work for an employer outside of Canada, you do, yeah. So I guess if you're going to be a content creator in Canada, yeah, you just come in and just do it. Just come in and do it. Yeah. But that's interesting. Up to 6 months at a time. I guess it depends too on the country you're coming from and what the, whatever the treaties are between the two countries. And I don't know how long you, as someone from Mexico or that's a Mexican citizen, on your passport, how long you could stay in Canada for without a visa. Anyways, but this could be something else too. This could be this startup visa. 12-month processing time. That's insane. Like 12 months? My goodness. Startup visa program lets entrepreneurs apply for permanent residence. Well, I guess that's permanent residence. So that's okay. So I guess maybe that takes some time. But if you're going to be a content creator, that would be kind of the same thing, I guess, as starting your own business. If you just think about it as a business thing, I don't think content creation is its own thing where they would say, hey, you fall into this bucket again, unless it's like one of these things where, it's a job that could be done remotely and you're not needing to actually work for a company within Canada. Anyways, I do have a lawyer friend, but I don't think they don't do immigration stuff. Anyways, but I think that's a really good thing about digital. What's the word I'm looking here for? Oh, hang on a second. I closed. We want to go back to here. Okay, so let's say legal, I guess, avenues to work I guess, to work and immigrate to different parts of the world. And we could, I'll just put specific request for getting into Canada. But I will say, don't come to Canada. I can't. God, yeah. I cannot recommend Canada at this point in time unless you love paying all your money to taxes. All right. I think I missed a few comments here. The topics I propose are varied, but it is a legitimate interest of the audience of European, South American, and African countries. Yeah, 100%. Absolutely 100%. And to here as well, too. Like, I talk to friends here, and they're interested in these same topics as well, too. So I think it's really like a worldwide thing. But there's some things that are specific about people that are living in developing countries. For sure, that would be kind of a little bit of a different thing. But a lot of them are pretty universal, which is really good. And like I said, we looked at our statistics of our YouTube videos, and of all the people that watch, I think there was like 2 views from Canada. So like, most of my audience are not even Canadian, which is kind of funny. It's kind of wild. But anyways, yeah. So, and a lot of, I think, what were the number? Like US was a big one. I think India was big. I think there's a lot of people from, I think Poland was another one. I can't remember now the top countries where people were from. But it's something for me to think about what, my audience is and the makeup. Rolando, it is one thing for you to investigate it yourself or have an opinion, and quite another for it to be explained by a lawyer whose contact information you will provide and who will promote himself with you. Oh yeah, for sure, 100%, 100%. Yeah. I just wanted to just look that up because I was just kind of like curious, for sure. But yeah, obviously I'm no lawyer, so don't listen to me. All I could speak of is the first-hand experience of what it's like starting a business in Canada and living in Canada. Lived here kind of all my life, right? So, yeah. Right. So I guess the idea here would be immigration lawyer. So that's cool. And what I'd hope to do is that I think I need to have some kind of like a newsletter for this live stream, or a place where I could communicate with people where, for example, say you're really interested in learning about Canadian immigration and you'd want to ask, I get a lawyer on and you'd want to ask questions. It would be really great if you had a way to, or I had a way to notify the audience of who's going to be on the show, right? Hey, coming up next week, we're going to have Mr. Such and such, and they're an immigration lawyer. So if you're interested in that, tune in on Monday at, 8 p.m., whatever Eastern time, whatever the case may be, right? So I'll have to figure out how to do that because we definitely need something to communicate. So we're going to just write in here how to communicate the schedule of guests to our audience so they can bookmark the live shows they really want to I'm not gonna say even just watch, but engage with, right? So that you can actually ask questions to that person. So that's going to be something I think that's important. Like Rolando, you could say, yes or no, but I'm pretty sure that would be like, yeah, I would love to know when that person's on so that I could ask them questions. Or like if I, have someone from Salesforce as an example, it's like, hey, Rolando, guess what? We got, Kevin from Salesforce going to be on the show next week. Hope to see you there. Kind of tune in, right? So, yeah. I mean, obviously you can watch replay, but it's completely different than if you actually wanted to engage with that person. Okay, so we got to think about that. And that might just be starting a newsletter or something like that. I mean, I do have lots of newsletters, so it could just be something simple like that. So Rolando, now speaking of web topics, some topics to get you started could be how to create successful blog with WEBFLOW. Another topic, collections, what they are and how they work. Oh, that's going to be, for the video series. I think we do have that, but I'm going to write that down. And like how to structure collections and how to work with them and how to make some cool things with collections. Yeah, there could be lots of different things with that. So let me just put on, so those will be more like the educational content. And that's an interesting point though, like how to create a successful blog with WEBFLOW. So by success, do you mean something that just works really well and that is a really good looking and good functioning blog? Or do you mean some success as in a lot of people are reading it? Because those would be two different things, because getting an audience really has nothing to do with WEBFLOW. It has more to do with what your marketing capabilities are like and how well of a writer you are as well too. So there could be lots of entries with that. But one of the first things would be even just creating a blog with WEBFLOW. And then how do you go about marketing that blog? And one way might be to reach out to people that have an audience and be guests and do guest blog posting or be guests on someone's live stream as an example. Oh, shit. That's too funny. Okay. Collections. Especially if someone's coming from a design perspective, where they're they're more often than not just a designer. Being able to understand like databases and how that works and how that works in context of bringing up dynamic data onto a web page, I think that's really important. So that's really good. Another topic, create your own link tree and stop paying subscriptions for useless services. So I think that really falls into, where's the thing here? I could be wrong about this, but just business finances, like in general, and how to, like, I guess we could say how to stay on top of like your cash flow, right? Because cash flow is king, especially starting up. If you don't have cash flow, then you're not going to be in business for very long. And then I guess we can think about, like you said, like useless subscriptions. But create your own link tree. So is that basically? Oh, I think that would be like a WEBFLOW thing, right? Where you can kind of create a page which is a home page to like all your links, as opposed to like paying for that as an actual service. So I think I like that. But then again, that also costs money too. So yes, it can also fall into finances, but also into tutorials, right? So yeah, are you just tutorials on? So I think maybe I'm just thinking, okay, you're saying tutorials on how to build a link tree, but also tutorials on how to like manage your subscriptions. And then do you mean more like tutorials of, like, for example, I just recently, over the past month and a half, got rid of my Adobe subscription. So are you saying like a tutorial like that in terms of how I switched from Adobe and these are the tools that I'm now using? And here's how I, as my own business, I'm trying to cut down on all the subscription services. So that type of tutorial kind of content, is that what you mean? But either way, I like. So sorry, I think I know we're jumping around here, I think, from who would be really good as a guest, but then what's just good like educational content and tutorials to make for Pixel. Link tree. I hope I'm understanding that correctly. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now, I was already thinking about that in terms of making some specific content for this channel that is, it's not pixel related because that's going to be its own channel. So all the, just the web design, WEBFLOW tutorials, that's all going to be on Pixel. But if there's business kind of tutorials, like if there's short little 5-minute videos that I want to make on how things have been going for me in my business, that doesn't really make sense to do in a live stream or what have you. I'm thinking of making some more like static, like YouTube videos for this. And I think that those would be like great topics of how I'm cutting out my subscription services, how I'm managing cash flow, you know, what's working, what's not working in my business, those kinds of things too, to give a very quick kind of concise overview as to what I'm doing, as opposed to trying to sift through hundreds of hours of live streams and trying to find those little nuggets of information, right? Like it doesn't make sense, even though I've talked about it so many times. Hey, you guys are going? Okay, well, have fun.
Probably get back like after 6.
Oh, that late?
Yeah, 'cause that's when the park closes. So.
Okay, well, have fun. Yeah, Tristan and I will do some Muay Thai after he comes back. Great. Bye. Okay. All right. So yes and no. I'm talking about showing you how to create a link tree on your website, explaining that if you're already paying for the domain and the host, you can take advantage and track. Oh, okay, I see what you mean. Yeah, okay, perfect. Got it. So I'm just writing this down. How to take... Yeah. Attract traffic from the domain that you already have. Yeah. Okay, perfect. Awesome. Thank you. All right. On the list. Okay. So, right. Communication. Okay. So getting back to this thing here. No, wait, cancel. Create field. I mean, yeah. I think that's okay for now. Okay, what else do we need to do here? So we have all their contact information. There might also be, I should put this in here. We might want to have their email address. And maybe, why not? We'll just, I mean, seems kind of silly, but let's put it in here anyways. Phone number. Some people like to text, I guess. So I guess we can have that out there. And we need to know about, you know, like if they actually, like what's their, like, did they say yes? Did they say no? So, like their answer? I guess it's basically like a yes, no. Can we, I think we're just going to have to do a single select. Yes, and then no. We'll put yes, green, and no, oh, there's no red. Oh, there's this kind of red. And then I guess we can put like date and time, right? So like scheduled show. And hang on, sorry, 1 second here. Hello, Dune speaking. Yeah, speaking. Not too bad. How are you doing? Yeah, I was just looking for another place to kind of just store my business cash while it's not doing anything in my bank account. So I'd like to make some money or some interest on there. Um, well, I printed off of something like 20 sheets or what have you that I guess we need to get filled out or PDFs. Sorry, I just have them here actually. Um, I think there was a question I had because so basically it's me. I'm the sole owner and proprietor of my corporation. Um, the one question I did have was about something to do about I think it was something with the tax treaty between Canada and the U.S. Yeah, the IRS. I wasn't sure about that, and is that maybe because I might be dealing with um, like American stocks or something like that? I'm not sure. Yeah, the IRS treaty statement for entities. Right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that'd be perfect. Okay. Perfect. And once all these forms are filled out and sent back to you, is the account open right away? Or do you have to verify all the information first and then open up the account? Yeah. Sorry about that. You don't want to close your microphone. Yeah, I just figured. Yeah, it's just a quick call because I have some cash sitting in my bank account, and I just know like with inflation, it's losing like 10% a year, probably even more than that. And I was like, I got to do something with this cash. I can't just have it sit in my bank account doing nothing. So I want to open up a trading account with Questrade to see if I can put it in there and just put it in some ETFs or something like that. Anyway, so they did a nice courtesy call there. So somewhat business related. But anyways, all right. So that's done. Nothing too sensitive, at least not quite yet. I don't think in that phone call. Okay, but sorry about that. So another topic: architecture of local business website. How to boost your website to get more clients. Yeah, that's an interesting one too. As soon as I figure out how to do that. uh, but yeah, I mean, yeah, there's lots of different things we can learn from that in terms of, well, that's where you can kind of have like a UI UX, kind of thinking about how to lay out a website and how to have the information architecture laid out in a way uh, that makes sense for, that can engage with people easier on the website or make it easier for them to engage with your content. So that's one thing. But yeah, how to get more clients. I think there's a big thing as well too is the content and how to write your copyright in a way that resonates with your audience as well too. So that's going to be a pretty big thing, I would imagine. So I'm going to write that down as well. So you can think of these videos or these tutorials of like, how to increase, your web traffic by 100% or how to increase your conversions on your web page. So those would be like amazing pieces of content. And I think what would be really great for me to provide some context would be learning and researching how I could do that on my own website, doing that for 2-3 months, and then showing the results, and then rolling all that into like a nice clean video. I think that would be really, really cool. It's like, hey, here's what I did for 2 months of how I worked on the architecture, how I work on my copyright, how I worked on the positioning of different elements, how I did A/B testing on certain pages and different layouts, and how that's changing the different conversions of both selling the service for Pixel and selling products as well, which will be Pixel pieces. So lots of cool things. Those are going to be more involved, and like it's not a video where I just write a script and I can just talk about it. This is going to be like, hey, ongoing, like real world proof, and not just somebody saying like, hey, just do these things to your website and you're going to increase conversions, which a lot of people do, which is fine. But, you know, I want to show like proof, right? You know, what is it saying? Like those that can't do, teach. So I want to be able to showcase me actually doing the stuff and then kind of teaching it, right? So, yeah, buy silver and gold. I think like precious metals, I mean, it's a great bet, I think. I mean, you can still go wrong sometimes. Well, I don't think you can actually. Gold and silver, yeah. Precious metals, I think gold is never, ever, ever going to go anywhere. So I would love to buy gold. But like actual gold, I don't want to buy, I think you can buy like ETFs and different things that are like hedged against gold. But like I don't want that. I want to buy like actual physical gold or silver. That's what I definitely would love to do. But the problem that I have is my net worth is so low that even just buying a little bit of gold, I don't want to tie up all of my liquidity in gold, because I'm not rich at all. So that's the only problem. But yeah, I think if I had like $1 million cash, like right now, I think I would probably put 10%, maybe more, into buying like gold and silver. I'd probably do that. Right. Do you have any gold, Rolando, or do you have any silver? Like actual gold or silver? Buy and sell cars to Latinos. Just become like a. So this is a new business. We're gonna be car salesman. Oh my goodness. Cars. Yeah, oh man. One thing I wish I knew more about cars and being able to like repair cars. I think it'd be really cool. I'd love to be a mechanic. I always wanted to get like an old car, especially not these cars nowadays that they're all computerized and everything. Not a fan. They're connected to the internet, selling data to everywhere. I live in Mexico. I shouldn't answer that if I want to keep breathing. There's got right. Yeah, understood. What gold? What any money? Any extra money that's invested is getting a couple bottles of tequila. That's about it. Scheduled show, right? So we want to do a scheduled show, and I guess we want the date and time. Now, is there? I guess there's a date and time. Oh yeah, include time. Okay, perfect. Yeah, we definitely want local time. But I like friendly. Yeah, let's use a 24-hour clock, and I guess our time zone. No, we don't need to display. It's just going to be our time. Default to current date. No, we don't want to default to current date. All right. Okay, so So I think we should put, okay, so we have the full name of the person. And if somebody made a reach out, who did it? How did they reach out to the person? And I guess their field of expertise would be kind of cool. And, you know, whether, well, can I move this? Whether they answered or not, and when is the actual schedule of the show. So that's kind of, yeah. Okay. Rolando, question: do they really have 10% inflation? So here, it depends on. Oh my goodness. Oh, sorry. Another call. I gotta take this one. It's at the bank. Hello, June speaking. Oh my goodness. Sorry. I never get calls. That was my bank asking me if there's anything I could do. I was like, yeah, you could send me that $2,000 that I wire transferred over to another country and was lost in the ether. And the bank claimed that it was sent. The other guy claimed that it wasn't sent, and I'm out $2,000. So I don't think I'll ever see that money ever again. But another beauty of banking in Canada. I guess I don't know if it's really a Canadian thing, but either way, I don't know. That's an issue. So anyways, 10% inflation. So, right. It depends on the actual product. But when you're talking about groceries, there are things like, for example, I'd go to the meat store and I'd want to buy like a 1 pound bag of chicken thighs. And it would be like $9, $10, and which is already pretty expensive. And then I go back now, and this is less than a year, and that same bag is about $16 to $18. So it's almost like an 80% increase in cost. And some meats, 100% increase in price within a year and a half. So olive oil, we buy olive oil for cooking, and you have a 1 liter thing of olive oil. Used to be $6, $7. Now it's $14 to $15. So again, 100% increase in that. So the things that you actually use, like the eggs, milk, bread kind of thing, huge inflation. Grocery bill. We just did groceries at the cheap store. No meats, no eggs, nothing like that. And it was $275 Canadian. And that will last us, we go to groceries once a week. And that's, like I said, excluding meats. So, and it used to cost like every time, if the grocery bill was over 200, I'd be like, oh my goodness, this is crazy. But this was $275. And it's for a family of 4. And that's for 1 week. And no meats in that. So yeah, cost of living is like just insane here. It's gone really, really bad. And of course the government, the numbers that they come out with inflation, they actually take out the things that have actually inflated, and they put in these weird things that don't really inflate in price and say, hey, look, inflation's down 2%. It's like, it's just lies. But hey, anyways. So sorry about that phone call. Okay. So, right. We have the person's name. Did we reach out to them? Who's the one that reached out to them? How did they reach out to them? What is this person's field of expertise? Maybe we'll put this kind of at the start so we can kind of see what it is that they do. Reach out method. If they said yes or no, and then if we scheduled the show and like what date works well with them. And I imagine once we have this initial reach out, we might do something different where, I don't know if we can, like, we're just going to keep it in Excel for now, but maybe it'll make, oh, sorry, I'm totally talking and I don't have this thing showing you on screen here. Sorry, guys. Right. I don't know if it'll make sense to, once someone actually we connect with somebody and we're going through back and forth via email, if it makes sense to move that into like a CRM or something like that. But I think for now, we'll just use this and not try to do anything too fancy in terms of like using Salesforce or something like that in order to try to coordinate the stuff. So I think this mixed in with a calendar is pretty much all that we're going to need, I think, to start this off. So, and then I'm going to talk with Andrea, because once we start rolling with this and people do start, booking times and whatever, she's the one who's going to be managing the calendar for all this kind of stuff. So we'll see what she's going to want and what she needs in this spreadsheet, and then we'll go from there. But I think for now, this is pretty good. This gives us, kind of all the information that we would want for an individual. Like, what's their LinkedIn? What's their Twitter bio? What's their YouTube channel? Yeah, no, I like it. And this is a reach out person. Yeah, it's who reached out, whether it's me or. Why is there? Is there always like a blank? I guess that's kind of what if there's none. Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay. So I think that works. I like that. And then maybe we can just say rename table. I don't know, just a guest list. Not sure what. Oh, that didn't stick. Guest list. Gotta say, there we go. Okay. Yeah, and things here like in Canada, like housing cost. The average house in Canada is like over $800,000, up 100% since I think since like 2015, something like that. I don't know. It's I don't know if you really count that as inflation, but we're definitely living in quite a crazy housing bubble, that's for sure. Rolando, suggestion. May I suggest that before you start inviting experts, you invite your friends and acquaintances who have businesses, adapting the topics to their business so you can generate content and support your friends. Yeah, I think that's a really good idea, and I think that is probably one of the things that I mean that makes the most sense, right? Is just start with the network of people that you know and kind of work out from there. And I think interviewing people that I know or that are kind of, the friends and family kind of thing can help me, I guess, help me with my interview skills and being able to interact with people and, kind of having conversations flow and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I think that is really good advice. And I'm definitely going to take that to heart. But there might be some people that I get that are friends and acquaintances that actually are experts because, like I said, I've been in academia for a while now. So I do know people, again, what's your definition of expert, right? But, people that are, have PhDs in their respective fields, which might prove to be good information. But yeah, I know it's really good. And I think it's even thinking about supporting people that are local as well too, right? So that, reaching out to people that are local business owners and people that are around here, I think might have a greater chance of, having them say yes and wanting to kind of be on the show as well too, to kind of promote locally within here. And then we could start getting more traction on this show with people that are local as well too. So I think that would be really, really cool. So yeah, no, I think that's a really good idea. And I think that's probably a good idea for lots of people. Like if you're out there doing a business and you're trying to find out who your first kind of customers are going to be, it certainly doesn't hurt to try to tap into your own current network of people, whether that's friends and family, and just letting them know what it is that you do and saying, hey, if you know anybody that needs a haircut, I'm opening up my new barbershop. So, have them come on by, 50% discount, whatever the case may be. And going from there. It's one of the things that I've done with my web company, and just asking people if they know anybody. Hey, can you tell me one person that that's looking for a website? They're like, oh yeah, let me think about it, and they get back to me, right? So definitely tapping into your current network is like the easiest thing that you can do before you try to go out and find those big huge people. That being said, if I ask Gary Vee and he decides to come on the show, that'd be like amazing. So I definitely won't say no to that. But yeah, I think the thing is too, is you could probably only ask a person, like once, every couple of years or something like that. But, so I wouldn't want to blow all my asks of people that I think would be too big to be on the show. But they might say yes, but I don't want to ask when I'm such a small show that they just say no, and then I can't ask them again. Even in 6 months, we end up growing to 10,000 subscribers or whatever the case may be, right? So yeah, so that's really good. I like that, Rolando. So thank you, and thank you so much for all your just even your advice and your brainstorming of things that you'd find interesting on the show. So things that I haven't even thought of. And I think it's going to be really fantastic. And I'm already thinking in my head of who are these people that I know that are part of my network that I can ask to come on the show or get people that are involved in that I could ask them to get me in touch with those people that I can bring onto the show. So really, really good. Very, very helpful. So I really do appreciate that. So thank you. With that being said, I think we accomplished what we want to accomplish today in terms of creating this document that Andrew and I are going to go forth and kind of populate and figure out all those people that we're going to want to have on the show, and then go from there. And maybe we'll check in a week or two to see how that list is going. I guess I can't really share the list because if I have different contact information, I don't want to, can't really share any of that kind of information. But yeah, we'll definitely let you know how it's going. And when we're going to start actually having guests, that I don't know. I'm hoping sooner rather than later. Obviously in September, I think would be really, really great. Maybe around mid-September or something like that. But we'll see. It's probably going to take me about a week or so to get everything set up here in terms of the tech in this office. And then from there, just figuring out what people's schedules are and how to schedule a few people in line, and then kind of just going from there. So I'm thinking about maybe mid-September, but we'll see. We'll keep you guys posted on how things are looking over the next week or so as we get our lists going and start reaching out to people and seeing kind of how it's going. All right. So I think that's it for me for today. So thank you for watching. Rolando, again, thank you so much for all your help and input. Super, super valuable and always very much appreciated. So thank you. Thank you so much. All right. That's it for me today. Thank you for watching. And as always, I'll be back here again tomorrow for a brand new live stream. Until then, have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you here tomorrow.